To the YouTube streets. Yeah, this is your homegirl, Arabia, Bosa 914, Westchester County, New York. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, I see what's going on in these YouTube streets. You got a couple of people that are live right now, but I don't really hear them talking about anything. I don't hear these men talking about anything. Shout out to the chat. We got some men in this sector, they need to go live more often. They need to go live more often. So I was live earlier. And I was talking about what was I talking about? Because my wisdom was cut so much in that video. What I was talking about, cases of the gentrification that's going on not only in New York, but in South Carolina. And when I was living in Yonkers, there was this housing project. It was up there, I believe, not too far from Ashburton and not too far from the Whitney Young. They tore down those buildings. It was called the Mulford Gardens. Mulford. It's been so long, but the object or the main emphasis on that video, when I was talking about this one lone woman that refused to move out of the housing project building that she was living in. The building had been passed down from generation to generation. That one particular apartment that she lived in. She lived there when she was a child. I'm gonna put it like this: it was the grandmother's apartment. The grandmother passed it down to her daughter. Then her daughter passed it down to the woman in question. And when she moved, the city gave her $10,000 and they found another place for her to live. They ended up giving her a moving truck, everything, so she could move into her new residence. Shout out to the chat. Hey, keep the change. I want to say good morning, but it's not morning. It's nighttime. What do you think about that? Keep the change. Because I don't live in New York anymore. I live in a place called Charleston, South Carolina. Well, I live in North Charleston. But they are doing it here today in this state. They haven't torn down the buildings yet, but they're getting ready to tear them down in another year or two. They're giving the people 2 more years to find suitable housing for themselves, because what they're getting ready to do, they're getting ready to demolish all public housing buildings in this area. That's what they're getting ready to do. And they're not offering the people any type of money to relocate. But in New York, they do it. It's just like, say that, let's pretend that we're in New York right now. We're living in a building, and some people have come by and they have purchased the building. So whoever owned it sold it. You know how this shit goes. You know how this shit can happen. And the people that live in the building, they're being informed, look, you got a new landlord, X, Y, and Z. Let's say 5 years down the road, they decide to sell the building. That's my alarm. I don't know why I got that alarm set for 9 o'clock at night. That don't make no sense. The 6 o'clock in the morning alarm, yes, I do understand that. But then again, this ain't really that's not really originally my device. I found that device like over a year ago. Over there on Remont Road, off of Remont Road. And I've been having that particular phone for a long time. But yeah, they are serious about getting rid of public housing. And they're telling the people they have to move. Now, I heard a few years ago they had issued everyone that was living in public housing, apartments, and properties that they would have to be getting ready to move. You know what I mean? And that was years ago. So now this year has just came and they are telling the people once again about moving. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think, but there's a big difference between New Yorkers and people from other places. Let's say that again. There's a big difference between New Yorkers and people from other places. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. This is your homegirl, Arabia Bosa 914, Westchester County, New York, coming to you with another live video. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Shout out to my support team. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to my YouTube creators. Shout out, shout out. It is what it is. 914, Westchester County, New York. We are definitely in the motherfucking house. We're definitely in the motherfucking house. It's after 9 o'clock this evening, so I was thinking about that. But I know my next video, you guys, is going to be about the Vatican. It's going to be about the Vatican, how it got started, how the Vatican is a corrupt entity, and how the Vatican still dominates the entire world, whether they are Christian or not. The Vatican, believe it or not, is behind a lot of shit. And a lot of people don't want to recognize that. I recognize what they're doing. Shout out to the chat. But yeah, that's what I was talking about today, about the gentrification. And it seems like they're not doing it to their own. They're only doing it to the non-white race groups. If you're not Caucasian, they fucking you over. They fucking you over. Because they don't do this to their own. They don't. As long as they live amongst each other, like the way society is now, yes, they have done it to each other. They have victimized each other, but they found other groups to go ahead and do this thing too. So that's exactly what the fuck they're doing. Shout out to the chat. And that's a reality. That's real, to me. And it is what it is. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to go live and I'm going to drop my link. It's going to be an open panel. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. The Vatican, the history of the Vatican, how I believe that the Vatican is still ruling the world. They are over every government, everything concerning politics, anything that has to do anything with religion. The Vatican has always stuck her nose in. And the reason why I want to talk about the Vatican, ladies and gentlemen, is because during the time that Queen Elizabeth I sat on the throne in England, she was dealing with two different pirates. They were related to each other. One of the pirates, his name was John Hawkins. John Hawkins. Remember that name, John Hawkins, because he was the one that instituted the slave ships that left from England and came over here to, America and Africa. They was a part of the Atlantic slave trade. So remember that name, John Hawkins. Let's say it again, John Hawkins. Remember that name. She not only dealt with him, but Queen Elizabeth I, the actual pirate queen, was dealing with a dude named, what was his name? You got John Hawkins, Sir Francis Drake. Remember the names. Sir Francis Drake and John Hawkins, they were relatives. Matter of fact, they were cousins. They worked for Queen Elizabeth I. They were a part of her English military navy. Oh, yes. And they were also pirates. They were also pirates because I want to say not John Hawkins, but Sir Francis Drake. Sir Francis Drake. He used to love to rob different ships that was on the seas at that particular time. And anytime they saw a Vatican ship, what they would do, what the pirates would do, they would raise the flag, the mast of a flag that looked similar to what was floating on the water right along with them. And then as they got closer and closer and closer, and they could see each other, the crew could see each other, then that's when it would be known. But it was already too late. It would be known that those were not also Vatican ships, or they were not ships from Spain or Portugal or France or Germany. Nah, man. These dudes were in the English Navy. They were robbing the Vatican ships. They were boarding them. They were taking the gold. But then you got to think, who had ruled the world at that particular time? Because it wasn't Italy. It was Italy, but it wasn't Italy. I'm going to put it like this. Whoever was running the Catholic Church at that particular time, even before then, we got to go way back, you guys. We got to go way back to the Christian Crusades. We got to go way back there because that would probably explain it a little bit different. But that's going to be a subject for another video. But yes, that's what the video is going to be about. The Vatican and the government corruption, and how the Vatican is tied into a lot of the shit that's going on in the world. Of course, they'll pretend and act like They ain't had nothing to do with this. They ain't had nothing to do with that. But if you look through all your history books and they talk about the Roman Empire, they talk about the fall of the Roman Empire. Rome did not fall. It just took a new face, and it used the face of Christianity. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. But yeah, that's what it all boils down to. That's what the next video is going to be about. It's not going to be about nothing what I talked about today. It's going to be a whole new video. And I might have some pictures to go right along with it. So I don't know if I'm going to, but I know I'm going to go live on StreamYard because I want to drop the link. That's going to be an open panel. That's going to be an open panel. And I might not necessarily talk about the Vatican and government corruption. I might just talk about the YouTube streets. But yeah, some people actually show you who they really are when they're dealing with other folks. Some people actually show you who they are when they're dealing with other folks. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, that lady, I can't. There's a big difference between New Yorkers and people from South Carolina. It's a big difference. It's a difference on how the government is being run down here, because each state got their own shit going on. Each state got their own shit going on. And I'm telling you, in New York, if you live in certain places and they need you to move and they know that you ain't got the finances to do it, they give it to you. They gave that lady $10,000 to relocate. And she didn't relocate to a place named Tuckahoe or Scarsdale or Bronxville or Tarrytown. She relocated right there in Yonkers. I don't know exactly where she lived, but I remember her. She was all in the news all the time. She had some darn good neighbors. You know, it just seemed like to me, and this is my opinion, because I lived in New York all my life. I was born there. I was raised there. I went to public school there. It just seems like the people in New York has a different mentality from people that live in South Carolina. It's just the New York mentality is different. And you got a lot of YouTube creators who are saying just because they live in New York that they from New York. No, they're not from New York. They're not. DJ Atticus and all them niggas that's on YouTube right now, they might be popping, they might not be popping. They live in New York, but they not from New York. They are outsiders. They are foreigners. They're not from this country. A lot of them wasn't even born over here. So how do they take the face of New York and put it on them when they not New Yorkers? They're not original. And we got a lot of motherfuckers on this app who be doing that, who just because they live there. How many years did they live there? These people were not born there. They were not raised there. They didn't go to school there. Their parents ain't from there. I'm going to put it like this. If your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents ain't from this country, how can you claim something? How can you? How can you? How dare you? How dare you? That we got a lot of pirates in real life, not just on YouTube, but in fucking real life. Pirates. DJ Atticus or whatever the fuck his name is, he got a cousin that's also a YouTuber. He lives in New York, but these dudes are not from New York. I'm telling you, they from the West Indies. They from the West Indies. You know what I mean? They're not New Yorkers. They live there, but they don't have a real love for New York. They don't. They don't love New York. They don't like the United States. They got an issue with this, with the shit they got going on over here. You know what I mean? Word. A lot of people don't understand what I'm saying. They don't understand the words that are coming from my mouth. I'm gonna put it like this. You got niggas running around, and now I know why they got an issue with certain things that happen in this country, certain policies, all that, because they not from here. They wasn't born here. If you wasn't born here, you're not a New Yorker. You're not an American citizen. If you wasn't born here, we got a lot of people that wasn't born here, but they don't have the attitude of some of their brethren. You got some people that wasn't born here, but some of those people don't have the same attitude as some of their brethren. And anytime someone is criticizing and criticizing and criticizing the black community, I got an issue with. You know what I mean? I remember one time I was in that young man's chat and I just kept hearing him criticizing New York, criticizing New York, criticizing New York. Come to find out, this dude is a West Indian. I'm typing in the chat. I'm like, you're not even from New York. You wasn't born here. So, of course, you don't got no real love. His parents wasn't from there. The grandparents wasn't from there. He was from West Indy. You know what I mean? I'm going to put it like this. I was born in New York. My father was born in New York. My grandmother was born in New York. My grandmother's mother was born in New York. Her mother was born in New York. I can go back in my family history, back into the 1800s, 1875. How many niggas on this app can actually do that? They be saying they can do that, but they can't really do that. They can't do what I do. You can't. People can call me a bitch all they fucking want. They can hate on me all they fucking want. But you can't stop the flavor. You can't stop my swag. And there's a lot of people on this app who want to stop my swag. They want to come to my channel and don't support the channel. For real, for real. And sometimes I'm starting to like really think some people don't deserve my support. They don't. They haven't earned it. You gotta have been riding with me for years and years. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I've been on this app since 2013. I come from Soda Nation. So I'm not a Kwamite, I'm not a rabbit, I'm not an outlaw, I'm not a mafia, I'm not a sniper, I'm not a part of none of those groups. I associate with them, but I'm not a part of any of those groups. I'm familiar with them, but I'm not a part of any of those groups. It's the ones that, and I'm telling you, the mentality is sick. It's a sickness going on these YouTube streets. The mentality, those that followed KB really tough, really hard at one time, and they still have an association with KB, to the dangerous ones. They don't have no love for nobody. They just trying to get close to the fucking celebrity. And they don't know the closer you try to get to that celebrity, the more you gonna burn up in the fire. There's an aura of destruction around that man. I hope everybody knows that. People don't seem to know that. They don't seem to understand that. I know and I understand. So yeah, that's what the next video is going to be about. It's going to be about government corruption in the Vatican. And how, and it's my opinion, how I believe the Vatican is behind a lot of the bullshit. Because during the times of Queen Elizabeth I, it was discovered that the Vatican had ships, and these ships were carrying gold. Where did they get the gold from? Because ain't no gold in Europe. Ain't no diamonds in Europe. You gotta remember that Christopher Columbus and all them other Yaku devils. Remember that? Remember that year, 1492? The Yaku devil came to the what? You know the rest of the history. You know where the Vatican got that gold from then. You know where they got the diamonds from then. The same shit they doing today. All these countries and the Vatican is sitting right in the middle of everyone. I'm not saying it's the shadow hand. I'm not saying that. But it might be. Hey, Mrs. V. Shout out to you. Good to see you. Yeah, that's what the next video gonna be. Hey, Mrs. V, I don't know if you was in the chat earlier, but I was talking about this one lady who she lived in Yonkers, New York. She lived in a housing project called the Marford Gardens, and how all her neighbors left. All of them had moved out of there. All of them relocated. She was the last one there. And I remember those lights being on in that place, especially at night, because my sister lived in the Whitney Young building. And the Whitney Young building is right there on Nepperhan. It's not too far from where the Marford Gardens were. And I was like, oh, they still got the lights on, because me and my sister used to sit on the balcony and smoke our cigarettes and drink our coffee, and we'll be talking about what's going on with that lady. And we used to see her on TV all the time. So, yeah, shout out to you. So we got one person in the building. We got 4 likes. That's cool. That's cool. I'm good with that. Shout out to the chat. But yeah, tomorrow morning I will be dropping the link, and I'm gonna talk about the Vatican. I'm gonna talk about government corruption, X, Y, and Z, and then the second half of the video would be an open panel. That means anyone can hit the link and come up. You know what I mean? Cause I hate when there might be a misunderstanding, but like I said, I don't give a fuck if certain people don't like me. I don't give a fuck about nobody calling me a bitch or nothing, because I know in real life, if they were standing in front of me, the words bitch wouldn't come out their fucking mouth. Wouldn't come out their fucking mouth. And sometimes you gotta be careful of who you support on this fucking app. And you know what? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop rocking out with people that I don't fucking know. If I ain't been knowing you over a year Ain't no need for me to be in your fucking chat. Serious. Because we got a lot of new cats who think they can disrespect the old cats. You think you can disrespect the OGs and get away with it. That's not the case over here. So if I haven't been knowing you for more than a year, trust and believe. I'm sorry that everyone gonna have to feel the fire. But if I don't know you for more than a year, I'm not fucking with your chat. I might come in, Coco Tasso, the like button, sit there for a few minutes, but I'm not chitting chatting and nobody's chat no more. If I ain't known you for over a year, forget about it. Because I see that a lot of these new people that just walked on doing content, just walked into the shit, they don't really fucking know what they doing, and they don't know how to handle me. So to keep the confusion down, I'm just gonna stick with the OGs. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with people like Sister T, Moonlight, Lonnie One Love. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the brown skin ladies. I'm gonna stick with who I already fucking know. And I've been knowing them people for over a year. I can't fuck with new cats. Cause they don't really respect you. They don't really respect you, and they really don't support the channel. You know what I mean? They don't. And I don't follow in groups. I'm not a follower. I do what I want to do, and I go where I want to go. Period. Period. Shout out to the chat. And that's the way it's going to be. So for all the new cats that just starting their channels and doing whoop the whoop, good for you. I'll come over there, hit Coco Tasso the like button. As far as sitting in the chat and participating, I'm not doing that shit no more. Because I see a lot of these new cats, they don't respect the rules. They don't respect YouTube guidelines. They don't respect shit. They don't have the compass that they need. They're too busy trying to people please, and I'm not here to people please for nobody. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Ain't no need for nobody to call me a bitch. Because especially if I don't call you a bitch. And that's the way I fucking feel. So if I ain't been rocking with you for more than a year, I'm not going to rock with you. Period. And that's the way it's going down. Just like the other day, I went live, right? Keep the Change came into the chat. Me and Keep the Change been knowing each other for 3 years. According to Keep the Change, me and her been knowing each other for 3 years. That spoke volumes to me. That spoke volumes. And that's real. If I was to ask brown skin lady right now, if she was to come into the chat and say, and brown skin lady was to sit here, I'd be like, yo, brown skin lady, how long have I been knowing you? I bet you brown skin lady gonna say more than a year. You know why she gonna say that? Because when brown skin lady first started her channel, I was one of the first people to go over there and sub up. Shout out to brown skin lady. If I was to ask Moonlight, how long have you been knowing me? Moonlight gonna tell me over a year, Ray. 2 years, 3 years. Shout out to her. If I was to ask Soulfly, how long you been knowing me? Soulfly give me her answer. Shout out to her. Queen Regina. If I was to ask Queen Regina, how long you been knowing me? I bet you Queen Regina can say 3 years or better. If I was to ask Miss 504, Miss 504, how long you been knowing about me? Miss 504 will tell you more than 3 years. If I was to ask Lonnie, same thing. Lovely Star, same thing. Highly Favored, same thing. They've been knowing me for years. If I was to ask some of these subscribers, Trey Spectors, how long have you been knowing me? Trey Spector would be able to say 3 years. That speaks volumes for me. And I like to go where I'm respected. If people don't respect me, I don't need to fucking respect them. Period. Shout out to the chat. Just because people sit in your chat don't mean they support you. Remember that. Word. And I'm out. See you in the next video. We're going to be talking about the Vatican and government corruption. And I might pull up some old pictures of Mulford Gardens so you guys will know what the fuck I'm talking about when I talk about how Yonkers, New York itself, the whole state itself, certain places in New York look out for their people. But when you go to places like Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, you go to them outlandish places, they don't look out for you. They let you drown. Shout out to the chat. I'm out. Peace.